I'll tell you about one of my favorite stories. This is a new case that we had this year. It's actually started at the end of last year. The client's name is Edwige, which of course is not her real name. I'm using an alias to protect her privacy. She is married to Jean Paul, and they have two children who are now 2.5 and 3.5. They met in Haiti, and they were married, and they immigrated to the United States. The children were born here. Unfortunately, the family was very poor. Housing was hard to come by, and they were renting a room in a house with numerous other people. Equally, or maybe even more unfortunate, Jean Paul was abusive to Edwige in many ways. He was physically abusive, often in front of the children. He was very verbally abusive, name calling, shaming, putting her down, demeaning her. She felt, being from the culture that she was from, that there wasn't a lot she could do about this. Jean Paul eventually coerced Edwige into bringing their children back to Haiti to stay with family members. He said that he would work hard to find a job to support them all and find an apartment that they can all live in without any roommates. She took the children to Haiti and left them with some of Jean Paul's relatives and returned to the United States. They lived together for 2 months, and during that time, Jean Paul did not do a lot to get a job or find an apartment. They ended up living in a motel, and he, in March, became very physically abusive to her in a very ugly way. She left him and went to a shelter. She then decided that she needed to get the children returned to her. She asked Jean Paul to help her get the children back, and he refused. He said, "No, you don't have any children. Those are my children, and they are not coming back here." She didn't know what to do. She didn't know where to turn. And she tried to do a few things. She obtained a restraining order against him after he physically assaulted her, which kept him away from her. Unfortunately, there was no custody order on that for the children. In June, she filed a divorce complaint to try and end the marriage and to get an order giving her custody of the children so that she could go and retrieve them from Haiti. All of this time, she was trying to communicate with the family in Haiti, who eventually, at the request of Jean Paul, cut off all contact with her. They blocked her phone. They blocked her on social media. They refused to speak with her. She asked Jean Paul where the children were, and again he said to her, "I'm not telling you because you're not getting them back." She was able to get an order, a temporary order, keeping Jean Paul from abusing her, but she wasn't able to get anything else. In September of 2019, she went back to Haiti to try and retrieve the children. She went to the home where she had left them in January and was told that Jean Paul had come back to Haiti and removed the children. So at this point, she doesn't know whether they're in Haiti or whether they're back in the United States. Finally, in December, she reached Greater Boston Legal Services. I'm not really sure where the referral came from, but she ended up speaking to one of our senior paralegals who did an excellent intake and came to us telling us the story of Edwige and what she needed to do. We agreed to take her case. We filed a motion for emergency custody orders in the probate and family court, and we were able to get into court even though Jean Paul evaded service of the motions. At the hearing in December, the judge ordered that mother should have sole legal and sole physical custody of the minor children. She did not make any orders for the father, but ordered him to tell me, the attorney, forthwith where the children were, and ordered that mother was allowed to go to Haiti to retrieve the children with the help of whatever law enforcement she needed there. Unfortunately, Jean Paul quickly left the courthouse. We couldn't find him. I sent him the orders. I had a constable serve him at his home. No one would answer the door. He was evading service. We then learned that he had returned to Haiti and was going to spend 2 months there. This was excruciating for Edwige. She was going to have to wait 2 more months to get back into court to have Jean-Paul answer to the court as to why he would not return the children. Haiti is not a Hague Convention case, so they do not have to obey court orders of the United States. He did come back. There was another hearing in February of 2020. By now, the children have been in Haiti for over a year, and they have not seen their mother in over 9 months. When we were back in court, the court heard our arguments regarding Jean-Paul's failure to tell us where the children were and his failure to do anything to bring the children back. Jean-Paul told the court, incredulously, that he was the father and he would make these decisions about where the children were going to live. The court judge cast a sideways glance at the court officer, whereupon 3 other court officers entered the courtroom, and the judge very calmly said to the father, "I find you in contempt of a valid order of this court, and I am ordering you into custody. I am sentencing you to 6 months in jail, or for enough time until the children are returned to the mothers safely." The court officers took him away and brought him to jail. This incensed his family in Haiti and some other members of his family here, and Edwige began to get phone calls threatening her from the family that she needed to get Jean-Paul out of jail. This, of course, was impossible for her to do. I sent the orders over to Prisoners' Legal Services at the jail where Jean-Paul was. There was an additional order that gave mother, again, sole legal and physical custody of the 2 children, and ordered that she was allowed to go to Haiti and retrieve them, and that we were going to advise the court as soon as the children were back in Haiti. She was able to get back to Haiti and retrieve the children from the family. With the help of a local pastor here and her own fierce love and negotiations, Edwige was able to convince the family to bring the children to her very good friend's home about an hour away from where the children were staying. They did that, and Edwige was able to be reunited with the children. Unfortunately, this all happened right at the beginning of the coronavirus travel advisories, and she was not able to get back to the United States until about 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. So the children are with her. She's receiving services from a Haitian domestic violence services agency. She is living in an appropriate shelter for her and her children. We are going to be able to get her a divorce this year. And thus far, I believe Jean-Paul has been released from jail, but there are no court orders giving him access to the children. Our next hearing is in August, so I hope you wish us luck. Not all of the cases we see are as dramatic as this one, but all of them have one thing in common, and that is that they are abused, demeaned, and punished by their abusers on a regular basis. Without legal representation, Edwige would not have gotten her children back. She was at the end of her rope. There was nothing else she felt she could do. We were really glad to help her. And we're really glad to help all of our clients that come to the Family Law Unit. None of this, or much of it, could be done without your help. Again, the Associates Fund Drive has raised an amazing amount of money for the Family Law Unit over the past several years. I'd like to end my remarks by again thanking you profusely and offering my gratitude for you taking on this effort. I am humbled by your concern for our clients year after year. I wish you good luck in this year's Associate Fund Drive, and I hope to see you soon, and I'm especially looking forward to seeing you at the wrap party. Thanks very much.